So Elon Musk just made a huge unforced error that's probably going to screw up his Doge project pretty bad, and I'm going to explain how. So yesterday he sent an email to the entire federal government, and that email demanded that everyone respond with 5 things they did last week. And they respond by Monday evening. He didn't say it's an email, but on Twitter he said if you didn't respond, you're essentially turning in your resignation and you're going to be fired. This is kind of a classic bad boss thing, making a demand on Saturday afternoon and expecting to be done by Monday evening, on a whim. But the problem here is that the federal government is 2 million people. It's over 2 million people. So you've sent out this email to a workforce larger than the state of Nebraska. And because of this, it's apparent that what he's demanding is completely unenforceable. I mean, first of all, the email address that he wants you to reply to is public. Here it is. If you want to send an email to it right now, listing 5 things you did last week, and throw a wrench into their gears, you can absolutely do that. Not that I'm encouraging it. I am encouraging it. But more than that, who's going to go through millions of emails and decide who's getting fired? Doge has about 30 employees. So if they all read emails all day long, they wouldn't get through a fraction of them. And then you have to match them to government records, see who's actually a government worker. And you have to decide whether or not the replies were adequate. What did someone just list that they drank coffee and hung out? Did they just list 5 words from the dictionary? Did they provide an actual response? Making matters worse, a couple of departments have actually explicitly instructed their employees to not reply. That includes the FBI. It includes the State Department. The union for some federal workers has also said not to reply. Musk has doubled down on this. He said that the people who replied immediately with good responses should get promotions. But of course, who's going to read all of those? You're still talking about thousands and thousands of emails. And it's a really good idea to promote people based on immediately replying to a Saturday email. What about people on vacation? What about people who are on maternity? Some people have said AI can do this, but I don't think AI really has the capability to read thousands of emails, match some of the employment records, evaluate the content of the emails, and then make hiring or firing decisions. At the very least, you're going to get thousands of errors, and that's going to open you up to thousands of lawsuits. And so here's where this gets really bad for Elon Musk. It's apparent from this that this is a completely toothless demand. And that highlights what Doge is. It is a quasi-agency with very limited legal authority. Up until now, Doge has been able to trample over the federal government because people thought that it had authority. It could come into an office and demand access to records or whatever, and people basically just obeyed. But now Musk has set up a government-wide demonstration of Doge's lack of authority. And what that does is it undercuts that veneer of credibility that the agency relied on. Now people know that if they get a request from Doge, the person they should go to is their immediate supervisor, the one that they are obliged by law to follow. They say, is this real? Do I need to listen to these guys? And usually the answer is not going to be yes. Elon Musk has essentially been acting as a tyrant ruling over the federal government. And if you're a tyrant, the last thing you can afford is someone demonstrating noncompliance with no consequences. But he has set up hundreds of thousands of demonstrations like that in almost every agency in the government. And once that authority is gone, he has no way to restore it. He can go around and beg people to let him in or say, I'm in charge, but they don't know who to listen to. And they'd probably rather listen to their supervisor, who they know, and their agency head, who's in their traditional chain of command, than some random billionaire who just walked in the door. So I think this could be the moment where the thinness and the flimsiness of the entire project begins to fall apart. I've been wrong before, who knows, but this is a really stupid thing for him to have done.